What's going on YouTube? Welcome. It's your boy, Mr. GDK. Welcome to the Trust Talk podcast. I appreciate y'all being here. This is my first one of hopefully many. So let's get into it. Particularly, this podcast will be focusing on marriage, and that is pretty much it. I'm not really going to try to get into single and how single people live their lifestyle, particularly, excuse me. I really just want to mainly focus on marriage as a whole. And that's for anyone who's maybe just got married, maybe have some time into your marriage like I have. I'm here mainly to help, inspire, and really just give good information. And before I go any further, let me make sure I let everybody know that's watching. Be very clear. This is why I call this podcast Trust Talk. Because if you do not like where the information for marriage is coming from with this podcast, because this is where it's coming from, strictly from the Bible, this podcast is not for you. It will be God based. Point blank, end of discussion. I'm not going to give you some talk on marriage from a worldview, from where society is right now, from where women's standpoint is, or where from men's standpoint is, particularly. I want to focus on mainly from where God has placed marriage and how marriage is supposed to try and grow and evolve with God at the center. If someone don't like that, if you are a person that think that, God may not be real, or you just don't, it's just not your religion and just not your thing, how some people want to, box it and put everything in this kind of spectrum or circumference of a place, then this podcast is not for you, because everything from marriage that I will be speaking from, like I said, will be coming from my Bible. So, hey, if you don't like it, sorry, but hey, it is what it is. So, with that being said, I'm a person that has been married 21 years. This year will make 22. And thank God that, hey, he has held me and my wife together this long. And I pray and hope that, hey, he bless us with many more years to go even further. So with that being said, I'm really getting into talking about marriage mainly because society, man, like for anyone out there that's married right now, man, society is attacking the concept of marriage. It is attacking those that are married and making it seem like those of us that are in marriages, like we don't, like we just are wrong for being married, or, we're just together to, make it seem like to survival. And that's just not the case for what marriage is based on, man. God holds marriage in such a high place that we as a society, especially when it comes to married individuals, we're not giving the proper information to the younger generation. I have two young, really I can say now young men. But from a father's perspective, I got two boys, but they're really young men. One is 21. And my youngest is finna get out of high school. He's going on 18 in the summer. So where I stand and what I want for them going forward in the future is absolutely one day I hope that, God lets them find a God-fearing woman and they can, get married, have a family of their own, carry on the lineage of the family name, and, do great things and prosper. So I'm a person, I am definitely for marriage. I am not one of these individuals that is against marriage. So with that being said, I want to get into it. I want to show y'all this verse, and I want to try to, shed some light on why marriage should be held in a very, very high regard. So let's get into it. Let me see. Can I get this screen to switch? Let's see. All right. So here we go. So I'm in Hebrews. I'm sorry, not yes, Hebrews chapter 13. I'm gonna stick with verse 4, and it specifically says, and I'm using my Bible app. It is in King James, just like my actual physical Bible that I got my hand on. Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled. But whoremongers and adulterers, God will judge. I'm not particularly going to focus on that last part because I know a lot of people will, come at me and, hey, I'm just a newly beginning messenger. I will always make this statement. The messenger can die tomorrow. God already got a new messenger on the way. So, as the statement goes, don't shoot the messenger. Because if you do, another messenger is coming. Just keeping it a buck with you. But anyway, God holds marriage in a very, very high honor. Very, very high honor. And I think that the younger society is not getting explained to them. Genesis 1, Genesis 2. God made man. Well, first of all, no, he didn't. Let me back up. God made the world with his great power and his sovereignty, made everything, then made man, gave man dominion over everything. Man asked for, someone or, semblance in him, put man to sleep, boom, boom, boom. Woman came, God made woman. At the very end of chapter 2, man and woman were together, naked, and weren't ashamed, and were not ashamed. That's not a direct quote, but I can take you there if someone needs to be. But I'm not going to just go there. And as soon as chapter 2 ends, look what happens. I'm going to go to Genesis. I'm going to go to chapter 3. As soon as chapter 2 ends, chapter 3, verse 1. Look who showed up after God ordained marriage. And God got Adam and Eve where he needs them to be. He got them, good. He got them good in the garden. Damn devil show up. And from there, once he shows up, he tempts woman and man because, hey, sorry, fellas, you got to be responsible. We have to be responsible. We can't ask for nothing, then don't pay attention to what we ask for. Just that simple. And after that, we know what pretty much happens for most of us that typically know or have some from, or we're kind of familiar with the Bible. With that being said, I'm gonna throw my caveat in right here. Let me get kind of to the camera. When you start listening to outside noise that doesn't have nothing to do with your marriage, that's when a problem comes up. And as you can see, God had already explained to man and woman, Adam and Eve, do not mess with that apple on that tree, the tree of knowledge. Don't touch it. You got dominion and freedom to do whatever else I done told you, but do not eat of that tree or you will surely die. Devil come right in, tell Eve, lie and tell Eve something different, and we all know what it is. So with that being said, my caveat is do not listen to any outside noise coming from other individuals about your marriage. What I have learned in being married 21 years is, and I thank God for this also, is, a praying family and a few friends, because I don't have many, and I mean a few. I can count them on one hand. That is truly for my marriage and want my marriage to prosper. Outside of that, I wouldn't advise anyone to be listening on anything from any outside person on their marriage, especially if they're not married themselves. Because when you do, as we can see, what happened with Adam and Eve, the fall. So I always want to let people know, man, do not listen to no outside noise about marriage. Excuse me, unless it's coming from God and God-fearing people. Excuse me again. So with that being said, let me switch my view back, get back into my other camera. Now, I do have my notes. I like to write sometimes, keep my notes going. I ain't gonna necessarily go word for word. I'm trying to, free flow over it. But God holds marriage in high honor. He loves marriage. He loves marriage. He loves it. He loves it. He adores it. He wants to bless. If you're a married person, he wants to bless your union. He truly, truly does. But you have to do your absolute best as husband and wife to keep him centered in your marriage. How that's going to look is truly going to be the both of you, your journey with him. You cannot compare your marriage to someone else's marriage. I can assure you. Do not compare your marriage to someone that you see on television, social media, celebrities. Trust me, don't do it, because a lot of what you see on TV and a lot of what you may see on your cell phone and wherever you're consuming, your social media at, whether it be on platforms like Facebook and things of that, a lot of that stuff that you see about marriage, that ain't it. Real marriages, they ain't putting their personal business out there. People do. Individual that has been married, 30 plus years, like I'll be around my wife and her mom and dad who have been married over 30 years. You don't know, no one knows nothing about their business. And guess what? That's how it should be. You don't supposed to know anything about anyone's business, about anyone's personal business, especially when it comes to marriage. Please note that when God ordained marriage, it wasn't but three people present: Adam, Eve, God. So when the fourth person showed up, it wasn't positive. It wasn't positive knowledge that was given. So take that as you will. My second key point: society has painted marriage as straight trash for young men and young women. It has truly painted it as trash. It really, really has. It has given women this idea of a man is supposed to, bring this and that and make this and finances that and blah 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 blah, whatever, whatever. Look, I'm not saying that, finances and, having yourself together and all those things aren't important. It is. It is. It's very important. But that's not what makes a marriage. That's not what makes your marriage. That's not what's going to make your marriage last 20 plus years, 30 plus years, or maybe even 40 plus years. That's not what's going to make your marriage last. It's going to be true love to one another, and true love and a true commitment to keeping God in the center of your marriage. If you do not do that, your marriage will crumble. It will crumble like wet paper, like a cookie, whatever analogy I come up with. Your marriage will fail if you do not do your absolute best to try to keep God at the center of your marriage. It's vital. It's so vital. It's so important. I have learned that in my 21 plus years of being married. It is so vital. Man, if I'd have knew when me and my wife first got married, I was 21, she was 19, about to turn 20. If we would have really knew that, I mean, we did, but being that young, you don't think the impact we wouldn't think the impact would be as great as it has been. It has been monumental for us, in our growth and just getting to where we are. And I really do. I thank him for that. It's been a journey, man. I also thank God for just having great family members and that have helped us along the way, that have really put in the work with us, that then got down on their knees and put their hand in the mud with us to help us get to where we are today. Shouts out to them. They know who they are. Um, Mom, dad, special shout out to my boy Gojo. He know who he is when I say his name. I'm not gonna put his real name out there, but love you, Gojo, from the bottom of my heart, man. What you have done for me and my family, bro, it's unmatched. So I just want to let him know that if he gets to see this video, even if he don't. Love you, my brother, always. Um, but I thank God for that, and just having, you know, And those are just a few people. I don't really, get out there and have this great entourage of people. I'm a real person that likes to sit back and peek the scenes and just kind of, stay within my framework of people that I truly trust and that I got real love and admiration for. Um, so that's my second key point, man. Don't like society has truly painted a trash of a picture for marriage. And I'm at the point where I have seen people that I truly love and care about the devil come in and, jack their marriage up. And I'm at the point where it's like, I can't sit back and be quiet no more. I'm not really doing this for like, great followers or no Patreons or none of that nonsense. I'm just at the point where it's like, I have to say something because at the rate that society is going and the information that they are getting about marriage, man, it is bad. And if those of us that are married, if we don't speak up and say something, regardless if God takes me tomorrow or he takes me 30, 40 years from now, what we're going to see transpire in the next maybe 7 to 15 years. I'm just, trying to throw an educated, you know, you know, number out there is, I don't think it's going to be what people think. I really don't. I think it's going to be something that is going to have people look at and sit back from afar and be like, is this really going on? Is this really happening? So I truly want people to understand, man, society is lying to you about marriage. Marriage is beautiful. It really, really is. It matures you in a way that you don't think you can grow. It evolves you in a way that I don't think a lot of people understand the type of evolution that God will start to make show up in your marriage. And I really want those who truly seek out companionship with God in the center to get that. But I'm gonna be honest with you, it is hard work, and you have to take it seriously every single day that you're in it. You have to take it very seriously. My third key point, I'm gonna read a little bit of this because I want to keep this basis to what I say. Um, God is the integral structure or foundational cornerstone for marriage. In other words, man, God loves marriage. He truly does. He loves it. But if he loves it, then that should let you know that the devil hates marriage. The devil loves when people get divorced, especially people that have really, really worked hard for their marriage. The devil loves when you separate. He truly does. God loves your marriage, regardless of what you're going to go through in your marriage. And I know some people go through a lot. They go through a lot. I understand that. I know. Me and my wife ain't been married for 21 years without having our own struggles, insecurities, and just what comes with it. Like you're gonna go through a lot. You're gonna go through some stuff, and as long as God got us together, still, I already know that hey, the devil is coming. Even especially with me now trying to step out and create, a space where I'm speaking like this. I know the devil is gonna come. I know he's gonna warm up in his batter box and start throwing some straight hell fastballs. But guess what? I'd rather go out and die on this mountain than just to sit still and not say anything. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I can't sit back and watch what's going on without saying anything. I can't do it. I can't do it. Can't do it. It just bothers me. It bothers me. So this is the first of many episodes to come. Hopefully, God willing. But I don't want this to run too long. But I do want individuals to understand whether you are married just beginning, whether you've been in your marriage for years, God is the focal point. You can't have a marriage without him. He ordained it. Whoever married you didn't, or whoever did the proceedings over your wedding didn't ordain it. The state didn't ordain it. He, God himself, the living, breathing truth, that breathes that into you each and every day that you wake up ordained it. Keep him centered. Do your absolute best. Keep him centered. Husbands, honor your wives. Wives, honor your husbands. That's not going to be easy, but that's the whole goal. And when you can honor each other, that means that both of y'all can come together and give God the honor. And that's when he will smile on your marriage. And when he smiles on your marriage, you can best believe it's a smile that it will just make your marriage glow. I promise you it will. So with that being said, man, I'm gonna end this episode. Second episode will be coming. The title of that episode will be I Do. Because I think a lot of y'all don't understand when you're standing in front of each other and the minister or whoever has doing your wedding proceedings is giving you your vows and you say I do. I think a lot of people don't understand that. So we're gonna get into it. That will be the next episode. I do. That's what we're gonna title it. So next episode coming soon. I already got it in the works. I already got my notebook going and what I want to say. We just got to get it tied together. So with that being said, it's your boy, Mr. GDK. I appreciate y'all for stopping by. Love, peace, blessings to everybody. And, y'all take care. Keep God first. Stay prayed up because what's going on right now in this world, man, you have to stay prayed up. Stay humble. I have truly learned that in being married as long as I have is to truly stay humble. No matter how bad the situation gets, stay humble. So that being said, peace out, man. God bless.